What up, YouTube? I'm back. So this week's episode was amazing. I'm gonna talk a little bit about last week's episode because I didn't do a review on it, but all in all, it was an amazing episode. So let's get right to it. So some shit happened in last week's episode that was pretty crazy. 3,000 of the Dark Forces troops were sacrificed so that they could use a special spell to defeat the Integrity Knight, and these sacrifices basically didn't mean anything because Eldrew, one of the Integrity Knight and Alice's apprentice, was able to defeat that attack, and it cost him his life. So that happened in last week's episode. It was crazy animation. Everything about last week's episode I thought was great. So yeah, man, I think it was a really good episode, man. It didn't disappoint at all. Anyway, that's all I had to say about last week's episode. But something that I do every week when I watch an episode of Sword Art Online is watch the opening, because one, I love the opening song and the opening animation, but two, I watch it to see if there's some new things that they brought and that they added in the opening. And in this week's episode, one of the things that they added was Asuna and Alice fighting together against Lord Vector. I don't remember his original name, but they were fighting together against Lord Vector, so that was kind of awesome. We still didn't see anything Kirito really related fighting in the opening, but seeing Asuna and Alice fighting together is something that I can't wait to see in the anime. The main villain of this week's episode was probably my favorite villain that we've seen so far in this season of Sword Art Online, War of Underworld. I thought he was pretty cool, and his tribe in general was pretty cool. So we're going to talk about him more later in this review. But the other thing that we were introduced to in this week's episode was a new Integrity Knight that I think we saw her before in previous episode in this season, but we didn't see her talk or do anything. She was just standing there. So her name is Sheta Synthesis 12. So she's one of the strongest Integrity Knight. It was pretty cool to see a new one once again. It's something that I like that they're doing in this season of Sword Art Online, is that even though the Pontifex is dead, they still show her in some flashback with some of the newer Integrity Knight that we saw in this season. So I thought that it's a pretty good choice and a pretty good idea to still have the Pontifex in this story, you know, because she was a great villain in the last season. While all of that was happening, this guy, which I don't remember his name, even though he's one of the most important characters of this season so far, he was just killing some troops of the Human Empire. You know, he was kind of stealthy, you know, he was doing a la Assassin's Creed, you know, that was kind of what he was doing in this week's episode, kind of killing in silence the troops of the Human Empire, which was kind of cool, you know. And he said something pretty interesting later in that episode, that he liked killing players in video games or in the Sword Art Online video game. I think he was in that with Kirito and Asuna, so that was kind of interesting. But one of the highlights of this episode was Sheta Synthesis 12 versus this guy right there. I don't remember his name exactly, but like I said, he was my favorite villain of this season so far. And something that we learned about him and his tribe is that they're really strong physically, and that normal sword wouldn't cut them. But because Sheta Synthesis 12 is an Integrity Knight, that didn't really matter, you know. She's really that strong. Like he said, like the villain said, he said that she's kind of as strong as a demon, you know, so that was really cool. But we just saw at the beginning Shada just destroying his troops pretty easily, and she was holding back, you know, so that was pretty crazy. But later on we saw them fight each other, and it was amazing. The animation, the art, as always, was great. It was something else to see. It's art, man. It's beautiful to watch. It's something that I like about the Sword Art Alicization series so far, is that the animation has been amazing. Not saying that the other season of Sword Art Online hasn't been amazing, but Sword Art Online Alicization has been on another level. That was actually one of my favorite shots of the episode. I don't know why, just showing their faces and then the arena where they're fighting, that was, I think, an amazing shot. I don't know if it was like that or in the manga, or if there was a visual novel of this, but I thought it was an amazing shot. Obviously, the fight didn't finish, and I'm glad that it didn't finish because the villain was my favorite of the show, of this series so far, of this season, sorry, so far. So I'm glad that he's still alive and that he'll be relevant later in this season. So yeah, man, it was an amazing fight, and I can't wait to see them in action once again. Sheta Synthesis 12, I actually surprised me a lot. I didn't know that I would like her like that because she was amazing, man. It was great. Now, going back to what Lord Vecta's subordinate was doing, just killing off some of the troops of the Human Empire. The one that actually saw him for first was Kirito's apprentice. I don't remember her name, my bad, but she was the one that found him first. And that was pretty cool that she learned some things from Kirito, even though she's still pretty weak. I thought that she would be stronger by now, but I guess not. But yeah, man, they were going to be killed off by him and his troops because they were surrounded. But something that happened at the end of the episode, the highlight of the episode was Lady Stacia, the god that was talked about in the first half of the season. The Lady Stacia was actually Asuna. I don't think that she's really the god of this world, but I don't understand how powerful Asuna actually was. That was pretty crazy because she could do basically whatever she wanted. I really want to know what the hell is going on with that. And the people of the Human Empire actually thought that Asuna was Lady Stacia. That was pretty crazy. And she actually looked like the Pontifex. So at first I was kind of happy that the Pontifex would be back because she was an amazing villain, but it was actually Asuna. And finally, man, finally she's back. It's been a while since she's entered the Underworld. I think it's been like 3 episodes or 4. I don't remember exactly, but I'm glad that she's back and that she's gonna help the Human Empire, Kirito, Alice, in the Underworld, in the Battle of the Underworld. It only took Asuna 24 plus episodes to finally get into the action, but I'm glad that she's back, and I understand why. Maybe it's been a while since we've seen her, since she's entered the Underworld, that we haven't seen her. Maybe it's because she was upgrading her avatar or something like that. I don't really know, but she's pretty powerful right now, so I can't wait to see what's gonna happen in next week's episode. It seems like the leader, the Knight Commander, I don't remember his name exactly, man, my bad about that, but it seems like in next week's episode we'll see him go against 5,000 troops of the dark forces. So that's gonna be crazy. Hopefully they'll do it because I really want to see that. But yeah, man, it was a great episode. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I can't wait for next week's episode. We'll see each other, or we'll talk to each other about what's gonna happen in next week. So yeah, man, stay tuned. But I do Sword Art Online Alicization reviews every Saturday, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Black Clover reviews, Dr. Stone reviews, Boku no Hero Academia, like I said, Sword Art Online, and One Piece reviews later today, so stay tuned. My last One Piece reviews was blocked, so my bad about that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but stay tuned for the next review tonight. But yeah, man, follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, and like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist, bye.